Hello, all heroes, and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe. And today, we're having a bit of a unique video this time around. As many of you already know, there's going to be a pretty massive content update coming in the very near future. We're going to be getting some more campaign missions, as well as the brand new mode Cecil's Nightmares. So, I thought that this would be a good time to give some tips, basically the top 10 tips that I can think of in my brain for new players that might be just starting the game, might have been drawn in, or even more experienced players that want a little refresher here on the best way to find success in Invincible Guarding the Globe, per my opinion. And I do want to emphasize that this is opinion, and this is far from a definitive list. I'm going to recommend, if you want more tips, probably go down to the comments. There's usually no shortage of people who would be happy to put their own thoughts and opinions down there, and it's often very, very helpful. So, we're going to get into this here with what I'm calling tip number 1 here. Don't use gems to refresh. Now, when you're just starting out, you're going to see these shops. And you're going to see that every single day you get 3 free refreshes. Like, for example, that's down to 2, that's down to 1, and then that's down to 0. You'll notice now that it says 20 gems to refresh. Here's the thing with this. There is no guarantee that this will do any good things for you, and let's say you hit it here, well then the very next refresh is going to be 25, and it will go up per infinitum, like it'll go up to 30, then 35, then 40. And yeah, I got pretty lucky here, actually. I actually got the Allen right there, which works out just fine for me because I actually do need an Allen. Or you could go for the next 10 freaking refreshes and get absolutely doodly. Like, you might get nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. So it is not worth it at all to use your gems on refreshes. Oh, why are they giving me good stuff here? That's such a pain. Anyways, I'm getting distracted here. Same goes for this stuff. Especially the equipment in the lab. You never want to refresh this, because this, again, costs gems, which is hilariously not worth it for the equipment shop. And then this one, it uses the lab coins that you get from common heroes to both purchase and refresh. Those lab coins are way too rare and valuable to be using them on refreshes, and same thing as with the equipment. If I use this, there is no guarantee that I will get anything useful. The only exception to the rule is just recently with Doc Seismic, we had an event where the refresh cost was locked to 20 gems. That's the exception. That is the one and only exception I can think of in my brain where you could then start spending gems, because then it's like, then you're starting to get some value. As long as you do have the dossiers and a nice stockpile of gems, that can actually be pretty worth it. If you want to go see my mega recruitment video from a little while ago during that event, you can kind of see the results of my mega summons there with lots of refreshes, and you can kind of use that as a guide to see if it is worth it for you. Next, and this is keeping in mind that we're about to get even more campaign, I'm going to say that my next tip, don't rush the campaign. The campaign is full of really good loot, but that does not mean you have to stress yourself out trying to get all the way to the end here. I'm at chapter 20, stage 60, and I am way ahead of schedule. I got this quite some time ago, and then I just have to kind of sit on this mission, because if I completed it, then I would lose access to being able to complete the start the campaign one-time quest on the daily missions. You really don't need to be in a hurry on this one. It does not hurt your game at all to just do like 10 every week and keep getting your hero stronger. Now, you can turbo push as much as you want, because like I said, it does have some pretty good resources. Every 5 or so you can get either gems or dossiers. It's pretty good, but you don't have to stress over it. Don't feel like you have to spend money to hit the next chapter or something. You don't have to, because there's really nothing in the game that's locked behind campaign progress. In fact, I kind of wish there was to give more of an incentive. But right now, aside from the actual stage rewards, there is not really a whole lot of point to actually push the campaign aside from the story, which is, I mean, it exists. That's more than you can say for some games. Just a little thought there. Now, next thing I'm going to talk about is hero building. And the tip I want to give here, focus starting out on 2 teams of heroes. Get 2 teams of your strongest heroes and try to keep it like a support or 2 supports per team, and then either 2 attackers and a defender or 2 defenders and an attacker on each team. Or you can mix and match if you're kind of strapped for resources. You can add in an extra attacker instead of a support. That kind of depends on what luck you have with your recruitments. You don't want to go too crazy. You don't need to build absolutely everything. And you can even use elite characters as food if you need to speed up the process. The rank ups are pretty aggressive. You need a lot of resources to rank up. So if you're trying to prioritize everybody, your progress is going to be, your rate of progress is going to be pretty slow. Don't be afraid to use some of the weaker characters like War Woman or the Mauler twins or Shrinking Ray and Bulletproof. You can use those characters as food if you need to crank up your strongest heroes. Now, why would I say go for 2 teams when you can only use 1 in the campaign? GDA ops. That's why you want to have multiple teams. Each GDA op can use a team of up to 5 once you do have them leveled up, and this is going to be your primary method of resource acquisition. The one you really want to prioritize is This Is Heavy, because this actually gives you the cards you need, the little access chips, to actually rank up everything else. And you do want to know which ones to prioritize. This Is Heavy is probably going to be one of your most important ones, followed up by Training Gain and Downtown Destruction, and then of course anything going on in the events here, because if you'll notice, there are sometimes GDA op events. These can give characters, they can give artifact parts, they can give lab coins depending on what's going on. You want to be able to prioritize which ops you want to do, and you want to have multiple teams to actually do those. Now we're just going to get our loot here, because we want to get that going once again. GDA ops are your bread and butter. This is going to be what actually gets all of your stuff powered up. You do get a decent little bit from the campaign, but not as much as you get from GDA ops. At this point, I'm actually up to 4 teams. I've got my A team here. I have my... Is that my B team that I have here, or my C team? This is my B team here. And then I actually do have my recently built C team here, who they're not too crazy high level, but they're high enough to do some work. And then my Mimi Flaxen Leader team, which is a nice segue into my next point here. This game has an interesting feature where you can actually build most of the food characters. That being these rare characters here: Duplicate, Rexplode, Black Samson, Martial Man, etc., etc. You can't build these guys. I kind of wish you could, honestly. It'd be good for memes. But you can actually build these rare characters. Don't. Don't. Just don't. I've got a Omnipotent Plus Duplicate that I built half for memes, half to play with her clone skill here. I think she's great. Personally. Objectively speaking, terrible investment. Terrible investment. Not because of her power level or anything. Some of the rare characters in this game are actually alright. But for every elite duplicate, okay, let's do some math here. For an elite Invincible, you just need to get a copy of Invincible. He's an elite character. You get a copy of Invincible, and then another copy of Invincible. That's 2 copies to get to Elite Plus. For Duplicate, you need 3 copies of Rare Duplicate, plus 6 copies of any more food of the same faction, to get 1 elite duplicate. That's 9 characters. That's 9 characters you have to summon. And you might say like, oh, well, they're going to be so common because you get so many of them. Yeah, but you still got to get them. You still got to get them somehow because, I don't know why this is, oh, that's why. Because, I mean, yeah, they're common, but you still got to use the dossiers. You still got to use the gems. Sometimes the GDA ops can help mitigate that a little bit, but the amount of investment required to build a rare character properly is nothing short of staggering. It's immense. Don't do it. I built Duplicate here just to kind of see how hard it would be, and because I actually do unironically like her ability here. But just stay away, use them as food. Like I said, there's a couple that are okay, and if you even want to get them up to like Exceptional Plus or something, kind of like what I'm doing with my my Flaxen Leader team, where I'm getting them good enough to function, then that's fine. But don't try to take them all the way up to Omnipotent Plus like I did. It's a ridiculous amount of resources, and if I had put the resources for Duplicate, if I had put those resources into Robot, into Monster Girl, into the Immortal, I'd probably have them up to Seismic, maybe even Omnipotent by now at this rate, instead of just the 1 Duplicate. Now, I love my Duplicate. I want to be very clear. I love my Duplicate. But objectively speaking, not practical in the slightest. And speaking of which, speaking of building characters, only go past Exceptional Plus if you want to commit. You'll see right here, I've got Martian Man up to Exceptional Plus. If I, for some reason, took him up to Epic, like I do for Red Rush here, there's no going back. There is no retire heroes or breakdown heroes feature in the game. You can't mulch heroes in this game. So that's my next tip for you. What are we at? We're at don't use gems, don't rush campaigns, start with 2 teams, focus ops, build the rare characters. Okay, so this is tip 6. Or don't build rare characters. Tip 6, don't go past Exceptional Plus unless you mean it. You cannot feed epic characters to anybody at all. And once you go to Epic, you have officially committed. You are in a long-term relationship with that character. Someone in my alliance accidentally cranked up a spare Adam Eve up to Epic, and now he's just got to live with that. So go easy, take your time on your rank ups, because the last thing you want is to accidentally use your hard-earned resources to get a spare character that you don't actually need. Now, in my opinion, a spare Adam Eve is actually not the worst thing in the world, because Adam Eve is a good support, but just go easy on the rank up button there, because you don't want to screw yourself over. Next, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is number 7. Alliances. Get yourself a good alliance, because what this is going to be is probably the main source of your gear. You can get gear from GDA ops, but it's pretty bad, honestly. It's not great. That particular GDA op is just not practical to farm. This is going to be your main source of gear. Find yourself a really good alliance. It's nothing too crazy right now, and technically speaking, you actually can be in a solo alliance. It's just you've got to build 5 good characters as opposed to just 1 good character to help your team. So it's like you kind of gotta take that as it is, where it's like prioritize. There's no shortage of alliances you can find that are just you can just jump in. But it's also good to do things like get on social media platforms to find an alliance, because you can usually find some people out there, especially if you've prioritized 1 or 2 really good characters to crank up your level. Like right now, I've got my Green Ghost here, who is ridiculously strong at putting in a lot of work. This is just really important. It's not difficult. It's not really stressful. There's no like leaderboards or alliance wars or anything like that. But it is still ridiculously important for gear. So get yourself an alliance. Now, number 8. Tip number 8 here. We're going to circle back to the summons. Make sure that if you're trying to commit to something, make sure you have enough to do all 5. You will notice from when I did my my recruitments earlier, This is random, and this is random too, by the way. You are not guaranteed to get one of the 5 when you actually do your summons. Let's say that I was going for that Alan earlier. If I had not had enough for 5, either in gems or dossiers, let's say I had 4, but I didn't get Alan until the very last one, I just would have been out of luck. I would have been just completely out of luck, and then at that point, you've either got to take the L on that one, which just makes everybody in a bad mood, or you've got to spend money, which can also make people in a bad mood. So just don't even poke that bear. This one's a bit of a do as I say, not as I do, because I have absolutely done it with the lab shop here, where it's like, I'll test my luck. Just don't poke that bear. Wait until you have a guaranteed 5, either in gems, dossiers, or in this case, lab coins for 6. Before you do any summons, so that you are guaranteed to not have to eat disappointment on that one. It's just a practical thing where you'll save yourself a lot of pain and suffering if you just go easy on yourself there. Now, tip number 9. We're gonna get a little bit of outside the game here. Tip number 9: join the Discord. If you actually go to the social option, you click on your little level and then go to social, you will actually see they do have a link right here, a little link button to the Discord. Join the Discord. There is an immense amount of resources that you can use on the Discord. There's infographics, there's tier lists, there's tons of people who are passionate about the game and would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Plus, even my game crashed. What in tarnation? And we are back. Okay, the truth that I was saying was just too much for the game to handle. Anyways, join the Discord. The Discord is an exceptional resource. There's infographics, there's tier lists, there's lots of people on there who are very knowledgeable in the game. Yeah. Just go to the Discord. You can do it right here from the social button, and there is tons of resources. And now, the final tip is just go for your favorite characters. There's a lot of characters in the game here, plus more that are well on the way. If you really want to build a Mauler twin team, go for it. You know what? If you want to build an omnipotent plus war woman, go for it. If you want to have a whole team of robots, or you even want to maybe build a rare character just for the heck of it, you know what? Go for it. It's just a game. We're here to have fun, and sometimes that just means building your favorite characters. Not everybody has to be meta. Not everybody has to be the great conquerors of the universe. Just go at it. Have a fun time. Go easy. And hey, you know what? If you like to be kind of more of a meta chaser, then go for it. You know what? I like seeing big numbers go up. That's part of the appeal with this game. I love seeing big numbers go up. That is my weakness, I will not deny. But if you just want to collect characters and play it casually, then you know what? More power to you. So yeah, that is all we have for today. Like I said, we do have some major updates coming in the very near future that I am extremely excited about. And before we go, I'll give you a nice little bonus tip. Bonus tip 11 is to subscribe to the channel. Gotta fit in a little bit of shill there. Because we do unironically we cover the events, we cover tips, we cover characters. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, as that helps me out a lot. Because I've spent too much money in this game. I've spent too much money in this game. But that's a me problem. If you just support the channel, give a like to the video, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And we shall see you next time, probably when there is a major update to explore. So